Just like the previous chapters, 3 games constitute the third arc of the King of Fighters series Tales of Ash. These games are KOF 2003, 11 and 13. And once again, SNK introduced a new protagonist, Ash Crimson, an unusual character that was different in every way possible from the previous 2 heroes, Kyo and K-Dash. His story starts exactly where the NES saga has ended. 2 years have passed since the last KOF. The ruthless crime lord Regal was defeated, the legendary being Orochi was sealed, and the self-proclaimed god Ignis was destroyed alongside his cartel nests. The world was in peace, but not for long. One day, the heiress of the Yata clan, Shizuru, appeared to Kyo and Iori, requesting their help to investigate suspicious activities related to the Orochi seal. Her foretelling ability showed her that the next tournament would somehow have dire consequences on the seal. Unfortunately for her, the heirs of the other 2 clans didn't like the idea to team up with each other again and ended up ignoring her requests. Soon enough, the invitations to the King of Fighters 2003 were sent to the war's best fighters. Regular KOF participants and veteran warriors from other SNK titles received the invitations. Also, new faces were present in this year's edition. Among them, a mysterious individual called Ash Crimson seemed to have his own agenda. Once again, the rules were changed. The striker matches were no longer adopted and the 3 vs 3 method was established again. However, this time, the battles were taking place during one single round, where the fighters of each team could switch places at any time. Despite how popular KOF 2003 was, the host remained unknown, and so the Ikari squad were sent to investigate. Ralph and his team made it to the finals. They were invited aboard an aircraft with a familiar name, Sky Noah. Inside they met Adelheid and the Rose Bernstein, the children of the former crime lord, Regal. It seemed Adelheid inherited his father's hobby of fighting strong opponents, and so he invited the Ikari warriors and challenged them into a fight.
ローズのために
あなたでは勝てない。
お兄様。
任せておけ。
Ready, go! Yay!
Unlike his father, however, Adelheid had good sportsmanship, and after losing the battle, he let Ralph and his team leave unharmed despite the opposition of his sister. And for the first time, the Ikari warriors were declared the official champions of KOF 2003. But there was more to this tournament that these new champions weren't aware of. Somewhere far in a different part of the world, K-Dash's team was attacked by Kyo, who seemed to be totally mad. Soon enough, they discovered that it was Shizuru who organized the tournament and the one who created the Kusanagi copy thanks to her sacred treasure, the Mirror of Yata. Shizuru also created an illusion of her long-dead sister, Maki, and with her help attacked K-Dash and his team.
さあ、始めましょう。
Ready, go!
It turned out that Chizuru was herself mind-controlled by a mysterious puppeteer named Botan and her companion Mukai, both members of a group called Those from the Past. Their objective was to weaken the Oroshi's seal, but unlike the Hakishu who worshipped Orochi, they seemed to have a different goal. Mukai was ordered to not interfere with the tournament, but only to test the winning team to see if they would be able to survive the new age, as he called it, and so he proceeded to challenge K-Dash's team.
ここがあなたのデッドラインよ。
Ready, go!
Despite his defeat, Mukai didn't seem affected in any way and left the scene, but not before promising that they will meet again. Chizuru, who broke free from the control of Botan after her defeat, was at last joined by Iori and the real Kyo, who seemed to finally agree to answer her requests and work together. She was going to fulfill her duty as a guardian and repair the broken seal of Orochi when suddenly was attacked from behind by Ash, and without wasting time, he stole the power of the Yata mirror within her body. He then threatened Iori that he was going to be next before he disappeared, leaving a frustrated Kyo holding Chizuru and swearing vengeance against him. The clan known as Those from the Past already broke the seal, and it was just a matter of time before the fearsome being awakened again. And of course, there is no better way to accelerate this than organizing a KOF tournament which will provide it with enough energy for its awakening. The Secret Treasure team had to stop their plans and knew that the key to do that was to find and stop Ash. And so, Kyo and Iori, who'd learned from their past mistake, decided to ally with each other from the get-go. Unfortunately, Chizuru could not join them, for she would be useless without her powers. Instead, she asked Shingo to replace her and join the Kusanagi Yagami team. Meanwhile, Benimaru and Dulon, Ash's former teammates, were invited by a noble French woman named Elizabeth. She had information concerning Dulon's father, the renegade assassin Ron. She was also Ash's childhood friend and was more than concerned when she learned about his actions in the last KOF. Then they all decided to form the rival team and join the next tournament with the purpose of stopping Ash. At the tournament's conclusion, the Kusanagi Yagami team crossed the path of an individual called Chion. He was actually waiting for them and was ordered by the host to beat any team who made it this far in the competition. And yes, Chion is a he.
Say what?
楽しませてくれよ。レディーゴ
だどうした進撃遅い進撃遅い
After Shion's defeat, Magaki, the host of KOF, entered the scene and trapped Shion in what it appeared another dimension. Magaki was a member of those from the past, but unlike Mukai, who respected the potential of humans, Magaki despised them and had no respect for them. With the intention to use our heroes as sacrificial lambs, he attacked.
消えてもらうぞ、お前らに。
Let it go!
おっと、俺。待ちゃくれよ。
You win!
そのまま死ね。
Despite his defeat, Magaki did not appear injured or even concerned about his loss. While wondering why Orochi was still not awakened, he was planning to leave through a portal when suddenly Shion's spear came from the same portal he created and pierced his body, killing him instantly. The battle with Magaki precipitated the imminent return of Orochi. As a result of its growing presence, Iori entered the uncontrollable Riot of the Blood stage and severely wounded his teammates. Taking advantage of the situation, Ash appeared out of nowhere and stole Iori's Magatama, holding the power of his iconic purple flames. Before he could leave, the rival team caught up with him. Elizabeth insisted to have some explanations from him and was ready to force him if she had to. However, Ash discouraged her by exhibiting his newfound powers, and not before long, he disappeared thanks to the Yasa mirror, leaving a final message. Kyo was his next target. After nearly being killed by Wild Iori, Kyo was hospitalized with Shingo, but he did not wait there for his complete recovery and chose to escape. While wandering in the streets, he was approached by a mysterious kid and his partner who gave him an invitation to the next KOF tournament, an invitation signed by R. Kyo met his old pals Benimaru and Diamond and decided to form Team Japan once again. Deprived of his flames, Iori was haunted by Vice and Mature, his former teammates, who were murdered by him back at the end of KOF 96. For inexplicable reasons, they were given the ability to take shape and form in the living world. They learned about Ash and those from the past, and as members of the Hakishu, they were ready to do anything to prevent the Orochi powers from being stolen. And so they convinced Iori to participate to the upcoming KOF, stating that it's the best chance for him to settle matters with Ash. Unlike Shizuru, Iori adapted to the absence of his powers and invented new techniques that made him just as deadly as he was before. As for Elizabeth, she knew that Ash was in France and was participating in KOF. With the help of his former teammates Dulon and Shenwu, she was more than ready to face him one last time and learn the truth behind his actions. It was Rose Bernstein who hosted the tournament without consulting her brother, but that was just the facade. In reality, it was those from the past who pulled the strings from the shadows. Their ultimate goal was to rule over humans. However, they already lost the war against them in the past, so they hide in the shadows for centuries, waiting for the perfect occasion to awaken and use the Oroshi's powers in order to open the time gate so they can go back in time and rewrite the history that suits them. Adelheid sensed that there was something wrong with his sister and contacted Haydn, for working with him would be his best option if he wanted to save his sister from Ash and his evil clan. Thanks to Hayden's agents, they found that the time gate was just beneath the stadium where the KOF matches were meant to take place. And with an unprecedented hype, the King of Fighters tournament that will decide the fate of all humanity started. Rose was congratulating the winning team when suddenly everything stopped as the time gate started to open and those from the past made their entrance, led by their master, Saiki. He ordered his followers to take their positions and they all disappeared except Mukai, who wanted to defeat the winning team for his master. Annoyed by this small insubordination, Saiki killed him and absorbed his power. Then he revealed his true form and attacked the three warriors, saying that their suffering would please Orochi.
Ready! Go! この程度無駄だそして
Losing the fight meant nothing to Saiki, but he was much more concerned when he realized that the time gate was closing. This meant bad news for him. If the gate closed before he entered it, he would be stuck in the present, creating a time paradox that would kill him. Just when he figured out who sabotaged the gate, Ash attacked him from behind and absorbed his soul. It turned out that this was his goal from the beginning. Ash stole the sacred treasures from Shizuru and Iori just to gain Saiki's trust and to have enough power to kill him. He never had the intention to help him achieve his goal. But his plan backfired. Saiki's soul was too strong and took control over Ash's body.
Ready! Go! そして
Ash managed to take control over his body again. As the gate was almost closed, Saiki did everything he could to convince Ash to enter the gate, but he didn't. He waited patiently until it was fully shut, which resulted of Saiki being erased from history. However, this decision came with a great cost. Ash was the direct descendant of Saiki, and killing him meant that Ash could never exist, and he was destined to be erased from history as well. Before he disappeared, he had one last conversation with Elizabeth where he apologized to her, and as the flow of time took its natural course, Ash slowly disintegrated, leaving behind him the two sacred treasures for their rightful owners to reclaim. Ash was erased from the memories of all who knew him. All except Elizabeth, who just couldn't forget about him. Despite how heroic Ash's sacrifice was, it had one unexpected result. But that is a story for another time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and why not consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.